Hi everyone, welcome to Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness. My name is Sandra Roy, your friendly neighborhood physical therapist. Here alongside is my lovely assistant Bree.
Hello everybody.
So what we've decided to do is talk about what we do here in Albatross Physical Therapy in terms of how do we treat patients, and I think Bree had a few questions that we wanted to tackle here today. So Bree, you had some questions. What was the first question that you wanted to ask, or people had questions about?
Sure. So I've had a lot of people ask me, in order for them to come in, do they need a medical or a doctor referral?
So the short answer is no, they do not, and I'll tell you why. On August 2018, our mayor, or rather our governor here, Bruce Rauner, had actually announced that he passed a bill so that anyone that was suffering from pain, and this was because of the opioid crisis, and people were taking too much opioids to try and reduce their pain symptoms. And what he found was that having physical therapy, as being easily accessible to physical therapy, actually helped a lot of these patients reduce their pain. So in August, he signed a bill allowing any person that has any problems with pain, back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, etc., to be able to access a physical therapist without a doctor's referral. So that actually enables people to really kind of walk in and get a really thorough evaluation by a physical therapist and be able to assess and treat this pain without the use of harmful medication, without the use of damaging injections, without the use of unnecessary surgery. So no. So the answer is no, you don't need a referral to see a physical therapist.
Okay, interesting. So let's see.
Yeah, what was the next one?
Sleeping positions. All right.
Okay.
So funny, this question. My friend from South Africa, she actually texted me and herself asked, what's the best sleeping position?
So that's a really good question. Now, you're probably going to hear a lot of different physical therapists say different things, and I'll tell you what I know as the best sleeping position for your neck, because I think most people have problems sleeping on their side, because when you do sleep on your side, your neck usually, if your pillow is too flat, you're kind of, and imagine this is the bed, your head is tilted this way, and so it's kind of smushed in this area, and it's kind of pinched, and it's pinching your nerves here, and you can get a lot of neck pain as a result of that. Or if your pillow is too high and you're sleeping on your side, imagine this is your bed, your head's going to be like this, and now you're pinching the other side, and you're kind of overstretching this area, which can also lead to pain and discomfort. So what I recommend is getting a towel and rolling it up and kind of positioning it under your neck here on your side when you're sleeping on your side, so it allows your neck to be cradled. And I'll explain why this is important is because I don't know if you've ever been to a museum where you've seen like Chinese archaeology, but back in the day, hundreds if not thousands of years ago, the Chinese used ceramic pillows to cradle their heads, and they understood even then that the neck was more important than the head to support while sleeping. So a pillow was not as important to them, and so they used ceramic pillows to support their neck instead of their heads. And in similar fashion, if you roll up a towel and you have it about 3 to 4 inches in diameter, this will help to actually support the neck when you sleep at night. And it won't allow you to scrunch up or pinch your neck and nerves in your neck and allow you to sleep comfortably at night. In fact, this actually works so well. I had a patient just the other day that said she couldn't believe how a simple trick like this actually helped her sleep better at night. And she stopped having neck pain and eventually even shoulder pain.
Interesting. I have another question before that.
Yep.
So I personally sleep with a pillow between my leg.
Yep.
Is that going to cause anything?
That's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, sleeping with a pillow between your legs actually helps to keep your spine in alignment. So in addition to sleeping with a towel roll or a cervical spine roll for your neck, I would recommend putting a pillow in between your knees so that it allows for the lower spine or the lower back to be aligned with your hips and everything else, so you sleep more comfortably at night.
Okay.
Cool?
Cool.
Right.
Let's see. All right. So the most famous question that I constantly get is the difference between dry needling and acupuncture.
Okay, well that's a really good question because I get that asked a lot. In fact, people often use dry needling and acupuncture interchangeably, but there is a fundamental difference. The difference, well, before I get to that, people often ask me, is there a wet needling? Have you ever been asked that?
No, but that makes sense of why they would ask, yeah.
Why is there dry needling? You know what? Well, there is wet needling. We don't really call it wet needling, but it's any sort of needle that's basically poked into your skin that has any sort of fluid in it. So basically, if you're getting an injection for a cortisone injection, or if you're getting a viral injection or a vaccine injection, that's a wet injection.
That
okay?
makes sense, yeah.
So, but dry needling, there's nothing wet about it. You're just using a needle to puncture the skin and allow for certain things to happen to allow you to feel better.
How deep in the muscle does that go?
It can go, well, it depends on the needle itself. So
Okay.
it depends on the area, and that's why it takes a skilled professional to be able to insert the needle, the right length of needle and the diameter needle into
Okay.
the certain parts of the body, so that you're not, most of all, you're not harming the patient, and that's
Okay.
most important. And that's why it's so important that you have somebody who's really skilled and certified to be able to do this. Now, the difference between dry needling and acupuncture is this. Acupuncturists have years of study dealing with the meridian lines of the body. It's an ancient belief system that has been used for thousands of years, where they take a needle and they place it in certain what they call meridian lines, or channels, energy channels in the body, to allow for that energy to be released, or something to that effect when you insert a needle. And that is considered to allow the body to heal, by releasing those energy channels. Now, with dry needling, it's a little bit different. With dry needling, there's been 20 to 30 years of evidence-based research showing where the needles actually help the body if you insert them in certain areas. Okay? Now, instead of acupuncture, which may not only help to decrease pain, it can be used for other things, such as what if you want to stop smoking, or what if you want to lose weight. People often go to acupuncturists to do that sort of thing.
Okay.
But for dry needling, from a physical therapist standpoint, we use it only to manage pain and musculoskeletal conditions. So, if you have issues with pain, if you have issues with flexibility, if your muscles are tight, acupuncture can help. And how does that, dry needling can help. And how does it help? Well, when you insert a needle into the body, what it does, it helps to improve blood circulation to that area, helps to improve the circulation of chemicals to that area to allow it to heal, and also helps to normalize the nervous system. So if you're very hypersensitive, it helps to bring the sensitivity down. If you have numbness, it helps to bring the sensitivity up. So it helps to maintain what we call a homeostasis. So that's really the major difference between dry needling and acupuncture.
Interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
I do have a question, actually.
Sure, go ahead.
So what is the difference between a chiropractor and like a physical therapist?
That's a really good question. So I've worked with physical therapists, of course, for many, many years, and as well as working with chiropractors for many, many years. Now, I'll tell you one fundamental difference between the two. Chiropractors mainly focus on the spine, and things are changing, right? Things are changing. Chiropractors are now looking at other areas in the body that can affect pain and limitations of movement and stuff like that, but they primarily were focused on the spine, and oftentimes they believed that the spine was responsible for everything that happened in the body. But with physical therapists, we not only look at the spine, but we look at other areas of the body. We are functional movement specialists, meaning that we look at the entire body to determine what the functional limitations are and be able to solve it by looking more deeply into why the functional movement is not correct or why it's being impaired. So for example, if you have an inability to move the shoulder to play baseball, why is that happening? Is it a muscular restriction? Is it a problem with the actual joint itself? Is it a postural issue? We look more into that, and it could also be related to the spine. So we'll go backwards and we'll look at the shoulder, and then we'll look at the spine as well, and see if there's some sort of relationship there, and we try to fix those things and then move on to see if we can get the functional movement back. That's from a physical therapist standpoint. But from a chiropractic standpoint, I can't speak on their behalf so deeply, but what I can tell you is that they look at the spine very intently, and they kind of progress from that onward instead of looking at other areas of the body first. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Cool. So is that it for today?
That's it.
Cool. Once again, I'd like to thank you. If there's any other questions, feel free to contact us. Our email address is albatrossphysicaltherapy@gmail.com. Our phone number is 630-446-5660. We'd love to be able to talk to you. Once again, myself, Sanjoy Roy. I'm a physical therapist at Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness, and this is my lovely assistant Bree. And we want you to be pain-free, right?
Pain-free.
Pain-free. Well, let's do the albatross.
Ready?
Let's do the albatross. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.